Clerk. All right, I'm going to call the Winnebago County Board meeting to order. Tonight is Thursday, May 14th, 2026. Our invocation and pledge allegiance this evening is by board member Freddie Della Trinidad, who is not present. So, Mr. Booker, would you like to do the prayer and pledge? Please stand.
Thank you, Chairman. Dear Father in heaven, we thank you for this beautiful day that you've blessed us with today. We thank you for the many abundant blessings in our life every day, of family, our health, food, and shelter. Father, we ask for your blessing in this meeting tonight. We ask that you bring us together, bring our heads together, bring our thoughts together for the good of the people of Winnebago County. Father, we ask for your blessing of safety upon our first responders, our men and women in armed forces at home and abroad. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Booker. Mr. Thompson, are there any agenda announcements this evening?
No changes to the agenda. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Very good, thank you. Clerk Gummow, can you please call the roll?
Thank you, Chairman. We will start with Dr. Michael Thompson.
Present.
Mr. Ray Thompson. Present. Ms. Valdez. Mr. Webster. Here. Mr. Arena. Here. Mr. Booker. Present. Mr. Butita. Mr. De La Trinidad. Ms. Fellers. Mr. Gable. Here. Mrs. Gorel. Ms. Hansert. Here. Mr. Hoffman. Mr. Lindmark. Present. Mr. McCarthy. Present. Mr. Neighbors. Mr. Penny. Mr. Scroll. Here. Mr. Sweeney. Here. Mr. Tassoni. Chairman, that's 14 board members present, 6 board members absent.
Very good, we have a quorum. Okay, under awards, presentations, public hearings, and public participation, I'm going to go right to public participation first. I'm going to read a comment here. The comment shall be limited to 3 minutes. Speakers may not address zoning matters which are pending before the ZBA, zoning committee, or the county board. Personnel matters or pending or threatened litigation may not be addressed in open session. An individual may speak a maximum of 3 times per calendar year on the same topic. This prohibition shall include the repetition of the same topic in a statement on what is purported to be a different topic. Personal attacks or inappropriate language of any sort will not be tolerated. Our speaker this evening is Mary Ann Smith. If you want to come forward, please. Yep.
Microphone's on. Good evening, and thank you, Chairman, and thank you, members, for this opportunity to address you. Generally, you may know me as the Coronado Lady, but today I am here representing volunteer trustees, 2 of whom are with me, about Greenwood Cemetery. Greenwood Cemetery is a legacy in this area. It is the oldest cemetery in this area, and it is also the largest. We unfortunately face a very, very difficult financial crisis now, because the only way Greenwood now can produce income is through burials and lot sales and charity. We are running a deficit as of now, as of this year. We have asked the city, the county, we're asking the county board the Park District and the state to help us. The state and the city have come to help us, and the help is directly needed for mowing this season. We have needs that could be addressed in kind contributions for refuse, dirt hauling away, a couple of trees. We're desperate for a vehicle, a used vehicle to use at the cemetery. And I would like, with your permission, to leave this list that could be in-kind contributions. And I would be happy at any time to answer any of your questions, as would any of our trustees. And I hope that you will do some soul searching and find it in your hearts and minds to help Greenwood Cemetery. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Okay, next we're going to have a presentation, Juvenile Detention Center updates with Debbie Jarvis and Julie McCrae Grotto.
All right. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
It's nice to see you all again. I think most of you know me, but I am Debbie Jarvis. I'm the Director of Court Services for the 17th Circuit. And this is Julie McCrae Grotto. She is the Superintendent for Juvenile Detention. What we wanted to do tonight was to bring to you guys some updates about how things are going at the detention center. I know we get a lot of attention at the detention center, and I also know that you guys like to hear updates about what's going on, so that is what we are going to give to you today. Maybe. Oh, there we go. Okay, so our Juvenile Detention Center is one of the 5 divisions within Court Services. It provides secure detention for youth charged with serious felony offenses. In days of old, youth at the detention center might have been there for misdemeanor offenses, runaways, things like that. That is not what happens anymore. Some of the laws have changed, and rightfully so. We only detain those kids with the most serious of offenses that are a risk to the community. The average ages of our youth are between the ages of 14 to 17. I've included a lot of information here, but hopefully what I want to be able to highlight to you guys is the trend that we are thankfully seeing. As you can see, between 21 and 23, if you look to the far right, the numbers of the kids that we are detaining at that point had increased pretty dramatically. We're really pleased to see that in 24 and 25, those numbers have started to decrease. We're nowhere near back to the level of where we were in 21 when we had 250 youth in the facility. 2025, we were at 371. So that's still a dramatic increase, but if you can see from 23 to 25, the trend is actually starting to go down. So we are thankful for that. I mean, it's not a huge decrease, but we'll take any win that we can get within the center. This slide I thought would be interesting for you because a lot of times people talk about if we are seeing the same youth over and over at the detention center. So what we did is we broke down in 2025, where you see the one time we had 143 juveniles who were at the detention center only once in 2025. And then you can see as the numbers go down there, the very last one is we did have 2 juveniles who had been at the detention center in 25, 7 different times. So while I can say that if you look at, we have 189 youth who were there 1 or 2 times, but we do absolutely have our repeat offenders. So you can see some of them are back quite often. Julie's going to give some of the general updates. We're going to go kind of back and forth on things, but she's got the updates.
So in 2025, Winnebago was a pilot site for the tool. I'm sorry, in 2024, we were the pilot site for the tool, but it went fully implemented in 2025 statewide. What this allows for is consistency statewide for screening youth into the detention centers. And it does give exceptions for communities that may have different resources, or community resources, I should say. Public Act 10449 actually does raise the minimum age in July to 12. Currently is 10 to come into the detention center. And then in 27, they're raising the age to 13. In addition to this, Sallyport, many of you have heard, is at the jail. We are actually getting that case management system hopefully in the next month. We're in the process of implementing it right now. And the camera project currently has not started. We're looking forward to that hopefully this fall. This is just a list of some of the programming we have during the summer months at the detention center. Freedom is our mental health services group. They provide all the individual sessions, group therapy. We also have Rosecrans. We have RPS that runs summer school for roughly 5 weeks that lasts about 5 hours a day, 5 days a week. And then there's some other new programs that are coming on board this summer that I don't have all the details for, but we also have Remedies that comes in and does a dating violence group as well.
So as you may recall, when you operate a juvenile detention center, there are standards and oversight groups that we have to comply with. So in each of those blue bullet points there, it talks about the different groups. Administrative Office of Illinois Courts, we often call them AOIC. You've heard me talk about that. They are one of our oversight groups. They also are the one that provides us a lot of funding for our staff. So AOIC does an biannual operational review. They just released their review report to us in March of '26. And then the Illinois Department of Juvenile Justice, that is also known in the adult world as DOC. In juvenile, it's IDJJ. They perform annual audits for us. You can see in red the next audit was supposed to be actually tomorrow for IDJJ, and they just canceled this afternoon. So it's coming soon. We don't know when. Poor Julie's been preparing for weeks about that, and now she gets a little more time. In those audit reports, as you can remember, for those of you who are around in the past, like sometimes we've gotten some attention from some of those reports. So I've done some highlights here to show you about those different reports. The IDJJ report had 5 different highlights that they listed in their report. They talked about you all. Honestly, they were impressed with the support that we have received at our facility from the county board. They thought that we do a good job in daily programming. They talked about the schooling program there. They talked about mental health programming and all the different things that Julie just talked about, that summer programming, that's what they were talking about. They are very impressed with our mental health services. Through the mental health board, we have 3 full-time clinicians in Rosecrans that we talked about. They call us the leaders in the state as far as mental health services in the detention center, so that is a huge win for us. At the bottom there, the recommendation that they made for us is no confinement for reasons other than behavioral. So as you can remember, confinement at the detention center is a big topic, right? Like, so they say that kids are not supposed to be in their rooms for more than 15 minutes at a time. If they are, we have to justify why they are in their rooms for more than 15 minutes. And there are other reports that if it goes over 3 hours, we have to do other extenuating reports for that. They have said that we are doing better in that, but they did note that there are times when juveniles have been put into their rooms because of staffing levels. Part of what we also have to do is we have to keep an 8-to-1 ratio with the kids. We have to have at least 1 staff for every 8 kids. But then there's other restrictions that go along with that, like kids might be on a no contact order. There's other things that make staffing difficult at times. So if we don't have enough staff on shift, either because they're sick, they've called off, that kind of thing, we have to make a choice. Either we don't follow the guidelines for the supervision, the 1 to 8, or we put the kids in their room for more than the time frame. So we err, honestly, on the side of safety, and they may be in their rooms for longer than that 15 minutes. So that is what IDJJ is talking about there in that part where the recommendations. AOIC, the administrative office, the top 5 were their highlights. PREA accreditation, we've talked about that before. PREA is the Prison Rape Elimination Act. There are only four detention centers in the state that have received pre-accreditation. It is a ton of work to be able to do, and it's expensive, honestly, but we were able to get that accomplished, so that is something they highlighted. AOIC also liked our education program, mental health services. They noted particularly how clean our facility is and that we are very focused on security. They highlighted that. The other thing that they liked was our intake process. You may recall a couple of years ago we received some money to, it was through the ARPA dollars actually, to get a body scanner at the detention center. We no longer do a strip search when the kids come in. They go through a body scanner so that we can look that way to make sure they're not bringing in any contraband. AOIC really liked that, and so they highlighted that. The recommendation from AOIC moving forward was the same as what IDJJ said. They said eliminate confinement due to staffing levels. So we heard that, and we said, all right, what are we going to do? So this talks about the different things that we have been working on to try and address the staffing challenges. So we have hired a training supervisor who is responsible for all of the onboarding with staff. We recognize that we need to put some more resources into our staff on the front end to try and help them stay longer so they are not leaving us. Salary adjustments, in part through our union negotiation for this year. We have given a significant increase to our staff in their salary, and that has helped get us to being on par with the rest of the agencies within the state. We are by far not the highest paid people, but we are no longer the lowest paid either, so that's good. We redesigned the schedule. The staff went from a 10-hour schedule to an 8-hour schedule. We had done the 10-hour schedule as a trial to see if that would help. They used to be on 8. Several years ago, we went to 10, giving them more time off, we thought. But we found that 10 hours is too long for the staff, and so we have gone back to 8 hours, and the staff are reporting that they like that. And then the last thing that has been started in the last year is a staff-led support group. So they are doing different activities. They are helping to celebrate and support each other, and it's all staff-led. And we think that that is also helping with retention and morale at the facility. This is not new. You guys know this. You know, we are going into budget season here shortly. Detention centers are expensive. You know, we talked about salaries went up. You guys will see that in my budget submission. Be ready for that, right? Detentions are expensive. But I do have a highlight to that. So AOIC, with the Supreme Court, asked for additional funding from the state budget last year. They have recognized that juvenile detention centers have been underfunded. And so you can see there on this slide that since June of 25, we have received additional voucher funding. AOIC provides us vouchers to help reimburse our staff salaries. And so in the past, you may recall that we had some staff that were voucher funded, but we also had a lot of staff that you all supported through the county budget. And so in 25, in September of 25, they gave us 10 additional vouchers, so that will cover those 10 officers' salaries. And then in April of 26, they give us 6 more vouchers. That's huge. We have never had that before. So while our budget will be larger, we will have a much larger reimbursement. To be able to have 16 new vouchers in a year is truly unheard of. I mean, I can't express how wonderful that is, and even how jealous my other divisions are, because no other division within court services got that. That's just detention. In that conversion with those vouchers, we did not ask for additional positions. We did not get additional staff at detention. Those additional 16 vouchers are all to reimburse what the county had previously been funding. So you will see those cost savings. Julie's going to talk about some enhancements.
So this is the good stuff.
Outside of the money.
Outside of the money, yes. So we started the space needs study a couple years back, about 24, 23, and it was decided that the space needs study would address 3 issues. Basically, what we needed at detention, the assessment center, and the day reporting center. Our plan 1 was modified to have the mental health suite added. It's a smaller division of that. Special thanks to the Winnebago County Community Mental Health Board for the Accelerator Award, and to the chairman's office for the funding, special funding for this. And I want to thank Marlena for her assistance with writing that application for the Accelerator Award. Now, the project is actually going to go to bid yet this month, and that's very exciting for us. This is a rendering of what the addition will look like. It'll have 2 rooms in it that they can use for groups, for facilitation. They have an office area and a storage room and obviously some bathrooms. This is a pretty good size addition for the facility, and Freedom Behavioral Health is very much looking forward to the new space because if you remember, they're meeting right now. Their office is actually an old pod area, so there's not truly any space for them to meet with the residents. So this is kind of the floor plan of it. I realize it's very hard to read, but there are the 2 program areas and then the office area down in the corner here. And the next thing is the facility generator. The generator, if you recall, was a project last year, but we are actually getting it, we had it installed and now they're getting ready to put it into use. And that was also grant funded and some SIP money as well. And the exciting thing about this generator is that it will actually run the whole facility in the event of an outage. Our current generator did not do that. The final thing we were going to highlight today is our mural that we had painted last month. This was through a grant through the Illinois Arts Council. This artist, the local artist, Brett Whitaker, helped us design this mural with the help of the kids. The kids gave him input and he went back and he put it all together. He came in and he painted it all on obviously a lift. So this is higher up off the ground so the kids can see it every day when they're in the gym. You can see it when you're out in the normal rec area as well. And I think there are news stories online if you would like to see it. We had the unveiling on Tuesday. So the kids are very proud of it. They like the fact that it brightens up the gym area. And it is substantial. I believe it's 35 feet by 12. So.
Yeah, you can't see in this picture how big it is. Like, it is truly quite massive, and the artist did an amazing job. And this was all based upon the kids' input. Like, the kids were the ones who picked who's up there and what the phrase was. And so this was a really great way to give the kids a voice and to be invested within the facility. So that is it. Like I said, it's short and sweet, kind of, and all good things. Yes.
Very good. Any questions? Mr. Arena, we'll start first.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for the presentation and thanks for the work you do. I know how difficult it is. So I have 2 questions. On your figures for total numbers in a year, are those individuals, like unique individuals, or are those just intakes? So the repeat offenders would be part of that multiple times? Or is that those numbers represent just?
That's the total number of intakes that we had that year.
So that would incorporate the people who came in?
Correct.
My second question is, you mentioned the age changing.
Yes.
So I've had incidents where people I know have had kids that are difficult and they're struggling and they're actually, desperate for help. And so your facility unfortunately becomes like a kind of a place of refuge for them. It kind of gives them a place for the kid to go to correct the behavior. So as the state's changing these ages, is there assistance for those, so now those people who might, I realize a 10-year-old kid is a young child to be in that situation,
Right.
but the parents obviously can't control them. They want to be able to. So how will we help those people as these ages go up with just managing their lives with a kid that's maybe not under control?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. The intent behind the law was for those most serious offenders, right? And I will say for most counties, they were not detaining many 10 and 11-year-olds, which is a good thing, right? Unfortunately, here in Winnebago, we have had kids in the last couple of years certainly in the last year, we've had at least 2 10-year-olds who have come in and stayed on very serious offenses. So to look at that population, we have been working in preparation for this change on July 1st. So we have been working with our local agency, Youth Service Network is the one that we work with a lot, and we have laid out a plan for what to do in those rare circumstances. So that's a small population, and I don't think that's probably who you're really talking about. When any child is arrested, they all come through our assessment center, if it's during the time when it's open, or then if it's not when we're open, then they catch up with them after that. At the assessment center, we meet with the parents, we meet with the kids, and we develop a plan on what those kids need and what the parents are asking for as far as help. And so at that point, then we hook them up with the services that we need. Could those kids end up in court? Sure, especially if they've had multiple arrests, then we probably would have, the state's attorney would file a petition against them and they would end up in court. But there are plenty of those kids who we give services to that we try and keep out of the system and give them those resources that are in the community before things get any worse for them. So there are a lot of community resources that we use. We talked about Youth Service Network, we use Rosecrans, we use GROW. I mean, there's a lot of them. But it's that job at the assessment center where they link those families to those services, and then we follow up with them even after that. So if a kid comes in on a Friday night, right, and then we say, okay, you need to go here, here, and here, then my officers will, after the fact, follow up with those families and say, did you have trouble with this? Do you need help getting to these services? What can we do to help link you to those things?
So there's community outreach that occurs for families to be aware of assistance that's available to them before the situation escalates to the point where the kid could potentially be incarcerated.
Absolutely. And our assessment center also works with kids who are runaways. So it's not just the kids who are arrested. It would work with any parent who would call and say, hey, can you give me some resources? We have people who would connect that person to the resources that they would need.
Thank you for the explanation.
Yep.
Mr. Webster?
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Deb. The information here, I remember a few years ago we were talking about, I think the population was much higher then. And I think some of the discussion revolved around the fact that we're one of the few counties that has a facility like this, and some of the other counties were sending some of their juvenile offenders to us.
Right.
Now, does that still happen? And when someone comes from another county, and we have to take care of them, are we getting paid back by the county that sent them? Are they paying the bill for that?
Sure, yeah, good question. So there are 102 counties in Illinois, and there are 14 detention centers. So the detention centers do take kids from other counties, and we do as well. In order for another county to be able to send their youth to us, they have to enter into an agreement with us. We have a contract with them, and in that contract, it talks about the per diem that we charge them every day for those kids to be there. And then we also talk about the fact that our kids come first. I mean, that's not the legal term, right? But we say if we're full with our kids, I'm sorry, we're not going to take yours. Like that is where our priority is with our own kids. But we will consider taking those other kids. So yes, we do take other kids, and yes, they do get billed for that service of being in our facility.
And thank you. One more follow-up on that. It's been a few years ago as well that there was talk that at least one of the kids there wasn't a kid at all. He was 21 or older. What's the maximum age now that you have anybody there right now?
Our oldest youth there now is 17? 17. But there could be somebody who is over 17 who is there. So if someone is on a juvenile petition, and let's say like they're on a juvenile probation order, and something happens, a warrant gets issued, we don't find them, or they're still on that order after they are 17, even though at 18 you're an adult, If their underlying court issue is juvenile, then they would still go to our detention center. At 21, they're not with us anymore. They would have to go to the jail for a new, at 21, we lose jurisdiction on a juvenile case, so that would be done at 21. We also have some kids who are in our facility on adult charges, but they are under 18, so a juvenile can be charged as an adult, right? So if they are under 18 and charged as an adult, they stay with us, but at 18, on that 18th birthday, then they get transferred to the jail.
Okay, and just one more. What's the population now, and what's the population that you can possibly hold?
Yep, so our facility was originally, holds 48 kids. When we became PREA certified, we recognized that we could not staff the facility adequately for PREA, so we dropped that capacity to 40 kids. So that is what, although we have the beds for 48, we say our operating capacity is 40. Currently, as of today, this morning, we had 20.
23, and there was 20 by the end of the day.
We're at 20. So that is still below, if you remember our number from last year was 29 on average. So we are a little lower even this year than we were last year. So knock on wood, that trend continues and those numbers stay low. That helps us with our staffing. That helps us with programming. That helps us with confinement, all of those kinds of things.
Thank you, Deb. That's all I needed to know tonight.
Great.
Mr. Sweeney?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to you both for coming and giving the presentation, and congratulations on the recognition of being a flagship, entity in what you do, which is very important, the human element of it. So congratulations on that recognition. That's important, and that's a good representation of us all. So thank you. My question would be, when you have the state mandating, I don't know, maybe it's not the right word, suggesting/mandating the staffing level to child ratio, and you said that there's the determination to err on the side of, one side of that coin over the other. My question is what consideration is there of our tort liability in that decision? Whereas if let's say a child was rather than err on the side of displeasing the state and therefore go forward with an improper ratio, and a fight were to occur and there was serious injury, and then sure, the tort liability coming back onto the county would be potentially significant, because they would say, well, you're not following, has there been an analysis of which is better not to sound callous about the money part of it, but we do have tort challenges, so I'm just curious, is there any consideration of that aspect in that decision?
Yeah, that's a good question, and to be honest, I have not ever seen any sort of analysis like that. There's always liability in a detention center, right? Like, that is the division of my department that keeps me awake at night, is the detention center. There is risk in operating one of those. I would probably have to defer to the state's attorney's office to give me more advice on that. Our goal is to meet all of those standards, right? Like, we want to have enough staff so we can do all of those things and give the best experience to the youth and to the staff who work there. But as far as looking at the liability, I honestly don't know that.
I guess it would just be, if it's a marginal amount of time to defer to, being confined versus having an improper ratio, whichever exposes the least amount of liability within reason, I guess would be something that I'm sure this board would be interested in, because we do have significant tort pressures coming from different areas, and that could be one given the nature of what it is.
Sure. Yeah, there are a lot of advocacy groups that are watching detention centers very closely, and there have been some lawsuits filed against detention centers for having kids be in their room for those safety purposes. So for me to be able to say there's less liability or less chance of court action for that, I don't think that's accurate either, because absolutely that is happening to facilities.
Tough either way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, thank you for the answer, and congratulations again on the recognition.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions? Mr. Ray Thompson? Mm-hmm.
the spirit of how do we fix this?
Oof, that's a big one.
An easy one for you.
Yeah, boy. I might need to have some more time for that. I mean, I think we know that we have to continue to work with these kids younger and younger. I mean, a lot of times by the time they come to us, there are multiple layers of issues that have to be addressed. And if the families and those kids can have the support at a younger age, then hopefully they won't get to the point of where we have to provide that support and those services. I think prevention, you know, that support at a younger age, it's not really catchy, but that's what I would think in the long run would help us all in the whole community, the court system, all of us the best.
Thank you. That's an excellent answer, and I think I can understand it. In general, I'm not sure what it looks like on a person to person or household to household, so perhaps you can marinate on that and if come back to us. Drink milk is
Right.
it, and then we're all better.
Yeah, I have some really great staff. I'd love to be able to pose that to them and see what they come up with.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very good. All right. Thanks, Debbie. Thanks, Julie.
Yep, thank you.
All right, moving on to our approval of minutes. May I entertain a motion to approve the April 9th and lay over the April 23rd, 2026 minutes. Mr. Booker motions and second by Mr. Dr. Thompson. Is there any discussion on either the approval or the layover of the minutes? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed? Very good, please cast yes for all members present. Next is the consent agenda, which includes the raffle report and the auditor's report. May I entertain a motion, please? Mr. McCarthy and Mr. Lindmark seconds that. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed? Very good, please cast yes for all members present. Next are the appointments. Tonight, we're placing up for the North Park Public Water District. Annual compensation is $1,200. Kelly Friedland, that's a reappointment to serve a 5-year term. Second is Josh Arand. That is a reappointment to serve a 5-year term. Next, Brett Herbie, which is also a reappointment to serve another 5-year term. And then North Park Fire Protection District, the annual compensation is $1,500. That is for Tim Gentry. That is a new appointment to serve the remainder of a 3-year term, expiring November 2028. Okay, moving on to report of standing committees. The first committee is the Finance Committee. Mr. Butita.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, we have a ordinance for a budget amendment for an ESDA grant, and I move to suspend the rules.
Is that a motion to suspend, you said? We have a motion to suspend and a second by Mr. Booker. Are there any opposition to the suspension of rules this evening?
All right, I move for the passage of the ordinance.
We have a motion to approve the ordinance. Do we have a second, Mr. Booker? Any discussion, Mr. Butita? Board member discussion on this ordinance? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed? Very good, please cast yes for all members present. Mr. Butita.
We have an ordinance for a budget amendment for the PSB roof replacement, and I move to send this back to committee.
We have a motion to send back. We have a second by Mr. Booker. Is there any discussion on the?
Well, just there's questions regarding the scope of the project that could impact the cost, so we're going to relook at that.
Okay, so there's a motion and second. Is there any opposition to the motion? Hearing none. Motion is approved. Mr. Butita.
All right, I've a couple of new or old business I will take care of now. I have an ordinance for a budget amendment for the state's attorney's VOCA grant renewal, and I so move.
We have a motion to approve for the ordinance. Is there a second? Mr. Lindmark seconds that motion. Any discussion, Mr. Butita?
No, sir.
Board member discussion? Hearing none, is there any board members opposed to this ordinance? Very good. Please cast yes for all members present. Mr. Butita.
Last one is an ordinance for a budget amendment for deferred prosecution grant renewal, and I so move.
Motion by Mr. Butita. Do we have a second? By Mr. Ray Thompson. Any discussion, Mr. Butita?
No, sir.
Is there any board member discussion? Are there any board members opposed to this ordinance? Very good. Please cast yes for all members present. Mr. Butita. Thanks, Mr. Butita. All right, go back to the zoning committee. Mr. Webster.
Thank you. Your zoning committee has 3 items to be voted on this evening. They were read in prior. These 3 items all come from the same applicant and the same address, same location, but there are 3 different actions, zoning actions taking place here. There's a map amendment, a special use, and a variance. So under advice of our attorney, I will ask to vote on these separately. So the first one is Z0625. This is the map amendment, and once again, same address in all these, 6540 Valley Trail Road in Cherry Valley. And then the next one will be a special use permit, SU0725. That will come with the conditions. And the third one is the variance V0425. And that and the special use both come with conditions. And all of these items came through Zoning Board of Appeals unanimous approval, and unanimous approval came out of the committee as well for all 3. So with that, I would like to make a motion to approve Z0625.
Motion to approve the map amendment, second by Mr. McCarthy. Any further discussion on the map amendment? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed? Very good. Please cast yes for all members present. Mr. Webster.
Thank you. The next one is SU0725. That's the special use with the conditions.
We have a motion to approve for the special use permit, second by Mr. McCarthy again. Any board member discussion? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed to the special use permit? Very good. Please cast yes for all members present. Mr. Webster.
Thank you. And finally, we have the variance V0425, likewise with some conditions.
We have a motion to approve the variance, second by Mr. McCarthy and Mr. Freddie Della Trinidad. Any further discussion? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed to this variance? Very good. Please cast yes for all members present. Mr. Webster.
Thank you. That's all we have tonight. Thank you.
Very good. Next is the Economic Development Committee. Mr. John Sweeney.
Good evening, everybody. The Economic Development Committee has a few items for you tonight. The first is a resolution authorizing the execution of a development agreement with the Village of New Milford for a $280,000 host fee loan pursuant to the Economic Development and Business Incentive and Host Fee Program Policy, and I so move for its adoption.
Moved by Mr. Sweeney, second by Mr. Tassoni. Discussion, Mr. Sweeney?
Not for me, sir.
Board member discussion? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed to this resolution? Very good. Please cast yes for all members present. Mr. Sweeney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The second item is a resolution to grant $50,000 from the host fees to the International Women's Baseball Center for hosting the 2026 Women's Baseball World Cup Group Stage, and I move for its adoption.
We have a motion by Mr. Sweeney, a second by Mr. Ray Thompson. Mr. Neighbors. Discussion, Mr. Sweeney?
On this one, yeah, I would just like to say, first of all, that Ms. Kat Williams and Nick Pavlidis are here in the back representing the effort. They were kind enough to give me a wonderful tour of Byers Stadium and a good rundown on all the great things that they're doing, and just to impress upon the board the significance economically of what this tournament, and itself alone, not just for this year, but also for next year. They have an agreement for this year and next year, is going to bring in people from all over the world. Many, many, many people roughly, what is the amount? I don't have it on the tip of my tongue, but if you could throw a number out there, I know you told me. About 5,000. Right, so that's wonderful for our community, wonderful for our bottom line, our sales tax revenues, as an aside. So thank you for what you do, and that's my comments on that.
Board member discussion on this resolution. Hearing none, are there any board members opposed? Very good. Please cast yes for all members present. Mr. Sweeney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, just one thing. You promise somebody can throw out the first pitch? Not me. Who wants it? It's up for grabs. Okay, 50,000. Mr. Booker?
That's a fundraiser.
You heard it here on the record.
All right, good. Congratulations. All right, Mr. Sweeney.
All right, thank you again for coming here. So, the next item is a resolution authorizing a program development and administrative services agreement for the Property Assessed Clean Energy Program, otherwise known as PACE, by and between the County of Winnebago, Illinois, and Slipstream Group Incorporated, and I so move for its adoption.
Moved by Mr. Sweeney and seconded by Mr. Arena. Discussion, Mr. Sweeney?
Not for me, sir.
Board member discussion on the resolution for PACE? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed? Very good. Please cast yes for all members present. Mr. Sweeney.
Thank you. And our final item is under unfinished business, which is the resolution granting authority to the Winnebago County Board Chairman to execute the documents necessary to complete a loan for $75,000 from the revolving loan fund to the Barber Law LLC, which was laid over on April 23rd. That business entity actually had a change of plans, and that acquisition of that property will not be occurring. So I'd like to make a motion to table this.
Got a motion to indefinitely?
If I could, if that's right and proper.
Go ahead.
The first step is to get it on the floor. So motion and a second.
Motion and second.
Motion to bring it forward.
We have a second. Mr. Ray Thompson, Mr. Neighbors.
And then the next step is a motion to postpone indefinitely.
I will make a motion to postpone indefinitely.
And a
We
second.
also have a second by Ms. Hansert. Any discussion on the postponing indefinitely? Hearing none, is there any opposition to that? Very good. Please cast yes for all members present. It is postponed indefinitely. Mr. Sweeney.
That concludes the report. Thank you for the help, Mrs. Reeder.
Very good. Thank you. Twice in how many years? 5 years. Wow. Okay. Very good. Next, Operation Administrative Committee. We have Mr. Paularina.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Tonight we have two items. The first is an ordinance amending Chapter 62, Article 6, Division 3, Leaves of Absence of the Winnebago County Code of Ordinances, and this is to lay over.
The item will be laid over. Next.
Second item is a resolution awarding purchase of a Ford Expedition for Coroner's Office using fee funds. And the budget impact is $81,038, and I move for its approval.
We have a motion to approve this resolution. We have a second by Mr. Lindmark. Discussion, Mr. Arena?
Not from me.
Board member discussion on this resolution? Hearing none, are there any board members opposed? Very good. Please cast yes for all members present. Mr. Arena?
That concludes our report. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Public Works Committee, Mr. Tassoni. Very good, thank you. Public Safety and Judiciary Committee, Mr. Lindmark.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No report tonight. We'll be meeting next Monday night.
Thank you, Mr. Lindmark. We'll go on to unfinished business. We have appointments that were read in on April 23rd, 2026. The first is the Durand Sanitary District. The annual compensation is $500. Placing up David Waller, that is a reappointment. And then second, we're putting up for Hull Cemetery Association. Annual compensation is none. First is Karen Donahoe, reappointment to serve a 6-year term. And second, Thomas Doherty is a reappointment for another 6-year term. May I entertain a motion, please? Mr. Arena motions for A and B, correct? Okay, is there a second? Mr. Neighbors seconds that motion. Is there any discussion on these appointments? Hearing none, are there any opposition to the appointments this evening? Very good. Please cast yes for all members present for A and B. Thank you. We've already done finance, zoning, economic development, new business. Is there any new business? Yes, there is a new business. Who would like to read that? Mr. Arena?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a resolution amending the organizational structure of the County Board of the County of Winnebago, and I move to suspend the rules to address this tonight.
We have a motion to suspend on this resolution. Do we have a second? By Mr. Butita. Is there any opposition to the resolution or suspension of the rules on this resolution? Hearing none, please cast yes for all members present. The rules are suspended. Mr. Arena.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move for the approval of the resolution amending the organizational structure of the County Board of the County of Winnebago, Illinois.
Moved by Mr. Arena to approve, second by Mr. Butita again. Okay, any further discussion on this resolution? Mr. Arena.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So what this change is we are replacing Mr. Ray Thompson with Matthew Gable on economic development, and we are replacing Keith McDonald with Matthew Gable on the Finance Committee.
Very good. Is there any opposition to this resolution? Hearing none, are there? None? Perfect. Please cast yes for all members present. Next, announcements and communications. Clerk Gamow.
Thank you, Chairman. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for submitting their statements of economic interest in a timely fashion. Also, the items listed below are received as correspondence.
Very nice.
Thank you, Chairman.
Very, very nice. And Lafa, you said you're very grateful too? Very good. All right, board member announcements and communications. Mr. Gable, how's it feel? Good? Everything good?
Yeah, once I get the ball rolling and everything. Learn how to work this mic.
All right, anybody else? Mr. Sweeney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just like to, I had the opportunity to ride with Lifescape, as I know yourself and some others did as well. I believe it was last week, and I just want to give a shout out to the gentleman who drove me around. His name is Andrew Friedman. He's the longest serving driver there, and just with the level of just compassion and patience and the way he did his job and helping some of these folks was just really neat to see. So I just want to give him that recognition here publicly at the board meeting and thank him for taking the time with me.
Very good. Mr. Booker.
Thank you, Chairman. Just a reminder, Peck Thing this weekend in Pecatonica, Winnebago County Fairgrounds. Antiques and crafts, one of the largest in the area. Pecatonica this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Thank you.
Very good. Anything further? Mr. Neighbors? Nothing? You're good? It's all good. All good. Mr. Webster? Motion to adjourn. We got a second by Mr. Dr. Thompson.